everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the Sports Junkies. It is a Giants and A's 2-month, well, actually more like almost 3-month review now, as we almost halfway through the season in baseball and here on the Sports Junkies. I'm Thomas Bookwalter. I've got my usual starting lineup with me, David Frias and Ben Baker. Guys, some 3 months in the Bay, thank you, Ben, in the Bay Area with the A's and the Giants, both, one team doing about as expected, one team doing better than expected. Both teams looking like they could possibly be contenders down the stretch. Let's go first to the American League and the Oakland Athletics, where the A's find themselves in third place, now 34-36, 9.5 games out behind Texas in the American League West. But Dave, this A's team is doing a lot better than people expected.
Well, right now, they've had a good month of June. They've had spurts where they look pretty much helpless, but they have a lot of young potential players. We'll get into that briefly, but I think it's pretty much, I see it as normal, being normal. I mean, I don't see the A's dominating the division or at the same time.
They're not going to beat Texas.
They're going to have their ups and downs pretty much. But, for A's fans, when they see them play well, it gives them optimism.
Well, they finished April. They went 11-13 in April. And then in May, they took 2 out of 3. They started May by taking 2 out of 3 from the Red Sox and the Rays, both on the road. Then they come into this month. They're still playing well, and they sweep the Dodgers at home. So, this team, like you said, they have their ups and downs, but when they do it right, they're a very exciting team. Right. At one point, they won 5 games in a row. So, Ben, let me ask you, what do you think so far has been the key for the A's?
That youth players that are playing above their salary, just making the most out of what they got, good coaching, all those things.
Yeah, well, and the thing is, okay, let me ask the second part of that question. Do you think realistically the A's could somehow end up competing for a wild card?
Yeah. Really? Every year they seem like they can.
Because look at this. Right now they're 34-36, which means they're about 4 games back of the, at this point, would-be first wild card team in Baltimore, and 4 games back of Los Angeles, the Angels, for the other wild card spot. So they're in it.
Yeah, I mean, there's better teams on paper, but, an injury here by another team, maybe just a small team-wide slump of, a bad stretch, and the A's could be right in it.
I see the A's as they're going to definitely be a pain in the butt for contending teams. But to really consider them as a wild card, I would disagree.
Bit of a stretch?
There's just too many strong teams in the American League East. But like I was saying earlier, the young players are starting to play better. The J.J. Reddicks. You still have Cliff Pennington doing well. Johnny Gomes has been a good addition for them, and the pitching as well.
Brandon Inge
had their moments. Brandon Inge coming in, giving some added veteran presence. But I don't know. I still wouldn't say I wouldn't predict them to be in the wild card.
We're not predicting them to go anywhere, but at the same time, would you maybe say Brandon Inge is their Cody Ross?
No, it's too early to say.
Or Pat Burrell?
It's too early to say.
No, I just thought I'd throw that out there. That was stupid. But no, but my key, I think a big part of the A's this year is we knew they had good young pitching. And even with, even with trading Cahill and Gio Gonzalez going into this year, they got some good prospects back. To me, what's been good, especially in that ballpark, has been their offense. I mean, it seems revamped. Last season, before 2011, they went out and got Hideki Matsui. They went out and got David DeJesus. They went out and got, they got these guys. They got these guys who were supposed to. They got Josh Willingham. These were the guys who were supposed to suddenly turn around their offense. Didn't really happen. This year, they're getting it. This year, they're getting that offense from guys like Josh Reddick, like you said, Josh Reddick. The Yoenis Cespedes, is hitting very well. Brandon Inge, I mean, they're getting contributions on this team. And the offense looks a lot more formidable than it ever did last year. So I think that's been a big key for the A's playing like it's better than expectations.
And then, like you said, Seth Smith has been a
Seth Smith.
Good, all these players, they're contributors. expecting more than that, I don't know yet. But you know, right now they're playing good, and that's all you could ask for the A's. Just enjoy what they can enjoy it while they're winning, because they'll probably end up back to the losing side.
There's a nice positive thought for you. Okay, go.
That's how it is. It's 162 games.
The A's fans are throwing things at their television at you, Dave. Just so you know. Let me ask you this, Ben. We talked about Josh Reddick. We mentioned Reddick. We talked about Cespedes. We mentioned Brandon Edge. Tommy Milone has been a great young pitching addition for the A's, along with the veterans like Brandon McCarthy, who was there last year, and Bartolo Colon has stepped up big. So, you know, the A's still building around this young core. What player has impressed you on this team so far for the A's?
Well, I think Reddick. You know, I think if I got the right guy, the Red Sox kind of thought he was going to be one of their emerging young superstars, and he didn't quite get it done there. And I figured, well, you know, he can't get it done on a team like that, then maybe he can't get it done anywhere. But he came to the A's, and he's been great.
Yeah.
So I'd say Reddick, yeah.
Dave?
Yeah, my prediction was also Reddick. The bullpen, the A's bullpen has been doing pretty well. This guy is Smith, I believe.
Yeah.
He hasn't given up a run, I believe so far. He's been doing pretty well for them. You know, Yoenis Cespedes, I'm still waiting for him to have his breakout, and as long as he stays healthy, I think he's going to be.
Hold on. Waiting for him to have his breakout. He's been killing the ball when he's healthy. Now you're right. He's had hamstring problems. But when he's healthy, he's been socking the ball all over the place.
Yeah, he's got to stay healthy. You still haven't seen his full potential. You know, that's what I'm saying.
Do I sound like a diehard A's fan because I'm scaring myself?
No, you reminded me of
that
sock out game from elementary school.
Yeah, go ahead, Dave.
I'm still waiting on him.
It's fun.
But you know, like Coco Crisp has been out, and you know, Kurt Suzuki hasn't. You know, he's the veteran. So these young players, you know, it's like this is their opportunity, and they're starting to deliver now.
Okay, Dave, were you surprised that they released Manny Ramirez earlier this week?
I was a little surprised, but then when you hear how he was doing in the minor leagues, pretty much he couldn't hit a home run. You know, he still got a few hits in the minors and in Sacramento, but his power is just he just can't hit it. He can't even hit a home run off AAA pitching. So that's a bad sign for Manny. And Manny's, you know, the power hitter,
Manny can't
the
be
average
Manny.
power hitter, and Manny can't be Manny anymore. So it was actually Manny who requested his release.
And the A's granted, you're right.
And so now he's probably going to see if he can stick with another team, or maybe he realizes, which he should, you know, that his career is done.
You think he's done?
Yeah, he's his best as DH.
Well, my thing with Manny is, yeah, he would have been, you know, a nice addition for the A's if he could hit. But right now, where are you going to put him? Where are you going to put him? I mean, you know, Reddick stealing that job, you know, in the outfield. You know, the offense, like I said, the offense, I won't say it's gelling, but it's definitely performing a lot higher than expectations. So right now, you wonder if bringing a guy like Manny would ruin that, like mess up the good, mess up the mojo they have going to an extent, you know, mess up the chemistry and the clubhouse that they have going. Where could you have put Manny Ramirez at this point?
It wouldn't make sense for him to be put in the lineup. And Manny, you know, his best chance is to go to a veteran team, but even the veteran teams aren't sure about him. So I think it's just pretty much the end of the rope for him.
Any thoughts, Ben?
Yeah, I mean, I was surprised to hear that he had asked to be released. I hadn't heard at the time about all his struggles in the minor leagues, but to me, it's kind of like you're slighting the A's when they went out of their way to try to revive your career, and you asked to be moved after making him wait all that time.
Realizing he couldn't contribute to them.
Yeah.
Because I think I see what you're saying, but I think when you're a player who's been a star,
right,
like Manny Ramirez, and you come to the point where you don't think you can help the team, you don't want to go out there and make a total idiot out of yourself, you know. I mean, although Manny's done that a lot anyway. But I mean, you know, at the plate, you know what I mean. I mean, just playing, you don't want to make yourself look foolish.
And he should, you know. And
so even if the team's giving you an opportunity, you don't want to embarrass the team.
The A's called up Brandon Moss 2 weeks ago.
Right.
That could have been Manny Ramirez. Yeah. And then what does Moss do? He's going a home run tear. He said at least 6 home runs. I think that's pretty much sealed Manny's.
Addition to the offense.
That pretty much sealed Manny's fate with the A's. And I think Manny saw that, and he's, you know, trying to stick with another team or else call it a career. A good career, by the way.
A good career, yeah.
Even though some scandal, he's had some moments.
Next episode, a goodbye party for Manny Ramirez. Right? No. But, well, unless we get a Red Sox fan in here, we can do that. Or I liked Ben's Cleveland Indians. He did come up with them, so we could talk about Manny Ramirez with the Indians as well. Ben has, enough of Manny Wood. Has your outlook for the A's, based on what's happened so far, has your outlook for the A's changed at all, based on the first half?
Me?
Well, you're the only Ben here, I think. I'll look around, but I think you're the only Ben here.
Let's see.
Did you change your name to Ben? Just checking. Okay, go ahead.
Ben Simon?
Oh, well, no, not really. I expect them to be around 500. They're still 3 games below. The Rangers and Angels are playing great baseball, so, I mean, honestly, they're about where I thought they'd be.
Okay, well, I'm going to ask Dave a similar question, but change it a little bit. Are you impressed with what the A's have? Are they playing better than you've even? Obviously, I don't think any of us are expecting them all of a sudden to make the playoffs. Although Ben did say they're a legitimate wild card contender. Right. Do you think? Are you impressed with the way they played? Have they played beyond your expectations so far?
Yeah, I would say I'm more impressed now, and actually I'm happy that they're playing better because you read articles, the Ace off the field issues, with the stadium and the fans, and the owner Wolf, Ace fans.
Who let the dog sign?
They're not liking what he's doing to the team because he wants to move them out of Oakland. And I think it does affect the organization. And then, when they got off to slow starts, like the A's are helpless, Right. So for the fans, like I said, for the fans at least, they've seen that the A's are playing better, and they're not going to sell out the stadium, but it just gives them at least reason to watch them. Like any team, even if you're bad, you want a reason to at least watch the team, when they're playing good at times. And the A's are playing good right now.
Right. I mean, I agree. I'm not expecting them to do anything. They could be a wild card contender, but I don't see them making the playoffs. There's just too many good teams in the American League. But I do think that they have played above their station, if you want to say, and. They have been impressed with the young pitching and with the kind of revamped offense. I've been impressed with how they played so far. Like I said, I don't think they're going to go and suddenly knock the Rangers into who's that team in Texas? Land, But they're going to be they are playing a lot more better than I think all of us thought they would. All right, let's get on the BART train. And Sperry Rapid Transit, and go to AT&T Park, go across the bay. Well, we drove from Candlestick to the Coliseum for the Raiders, Niners, when we did that Niners Raiders show before. So now we'll take BART between the two ballparks and go to AT&T Park for the Giants. Guys, right now the Giants, second place, 4.5 games back of the Dodgers in the National League West. Now, since we last talked Giants baseball at the end of April, the team has started to play a lot better. Actually, around the end, they got off to a horrible start in May, but then they started to play better. In mid-late May, they've been winning more games. Clutch hitting is still an issue, but they have picked it up. Ben, let's start with you. What or who do you think has been the key to the turnaround of the whole team this last month? Or the last month and a half?
I don't think I can just look at one place. It's been a team-wide great job. They've picked up with Sandoval missing time with an injury. Melky Cabrera has just been outstanding.
And
more than
we
I could have
signed him,
hoped.
there's going to be about 1.5 million people who were at the parade 2 years ago, very upset.
Yeah, that's absolutely true. Pagan's done great. The pitching, obviously, Lincecum, there's issues there.
That one.
Yeah.
That's the key to turnaround.
But yeah, the key to the turnaround. I can't point to one place. It's been a team-wide, people picking each other up. It's been really good to see.
I think, Dave, do you mind if I go first this time before you for a second here? I think part of it, and Dave, this is something you mentioned when we talked Giants at the end of April, about the, you said that we were concerned about the defense, and you said you thought they'd pick it up. Well, it took a while. Right. Every time they made an error, I thought to myself, Dave's wrong. I did. But they have picked it up. Yeah. They still are worse in the Major League in fielding percentage.
You stole
and they're still making errors. What?
It's like you knew I was going to talk about that. You took it before me.
Yeah. But they are playing. They have tightened up a little, especially Brandon Crawford. They are still making errors. He's still making a few mistakes.
You're missing one other player.
But they have tightened it up, and I think that's been big.
And you're missing the key defensive player that stepped in for Sandoval.
Arias.
Yeah,
oh,
he's been the cog.
Can't hit, but he's been great defensively.
I think he has a 260 average too.
Yeah,
that's hitting.
I
think he's more of a singles hitter, but hey, he's got the average. He's been the key defensive guy. When he came in, for some reason the infield solidified itself. Crawford started calming down. Terrios come back off the disabled list. Even Burris, even though he can't hit, but defensively he was doing okay. And then Brandon Belt at first.
How many cold strike threes did he take with runners in scoring position? It was ridiculous. Swing the bat.
Talking about defense though right now.
Yes. But well, Ben, let me ask you now. I was having an interesting discussion with our vintage junkie Mike Mitchell over the last couple of days, and we were talking about how the trading deadline is coming up. Right now, at the beginning of the season, it was all get another bat. I got to be honest with you. Right now, the offense is not concerning me as much as the starting pitching. And here's why. Yeah, we have a solid three in Kane, Bumgarner, and Ryan Vogelsong. But Zito, who was great at the beginning of the year, has gone back to the old Zito. Well, the old Zito's the Zito. The old Giants Zito. Yeah. He slipped again, three straight horrible starts. And then Lincecum just can't find it. So right now, are you more concerned right now about the pitching or the offense? Because it's like I said, if you remember, I said at FanFest, they have no pitching depth in the starting rotation. I mean, they just last year, if you remember, when Zito got, they had Vogelsong ready to come up. They had Surkamp down in the minors. This is before Sabian decided he wasn't ready. They had Surkamp down there ready to come up. Now he's hurt, but he's hurt. Vogelsong's up here. They signed Brad Penny. He got hurt, and then he came back and got lit up in his last start. So he's a long way from being ready to come up. Even though they saw him as a bullpen guy, there's no, and Moda, who could be a long relief guy, maybe a starter, is out suspended until late August. So what is concerning you more right now?
I think you're absolutely right. It's pitching. The hitters, they've been performing above and beyond what I thought they'd do. It's always been a big issue, and yet I think for a time there they were one of the leaders in the National League in runs scored. And
they are among the leaders in the In fact, Ben, if going into this road trip, which has been this road trip that we're on as we're taping this show, is the interleague road trip, which has been pretty rough. The Giants are 11th in the NL in offense.
Yeah.
So that's not bad. Middle of the pack, it's a lot better than they were last year.
Right.
Yeah, it's closer
better than they
to
were
the back,
last year. Although they're still pretty bad with runners in scoring position. But the offense in general has been better.
I think Pagan's been slumping a little bit more recently, but he's still above 300 for the year.
He's had 3 long hitting streaks, too.
He's hardly the guy to point the finger at. We knew going in that this was not a very strong offensive team. The players that, we hoped would step up, like Melky and Pagan, have done more than that. And the players that we didn't think were going to be all that hot offensively, like Crawford and maybe, Burris or Terrio, whoever's playing second, they haven't been all that great. Belt's been doing okay.
Did you just say Terrio hasn't been that great? Have you been watching the last few weeks?
When he came back from the disabled list.
Let me tell you something. Thank God. I'm sorry, I'm just pointing this out. Thank God for Ryan Terrio the way he's been hitting right now, because he's made us forget. I mean, for a little bit, he's kind of making. Where's Freddie Sanchez? Was everybody? When is he coming back? But Terrio's been tearing the ball.
Yeah, he's been great.
He's been hitting very well. Since he came off the DL, you're right, he was hurt, but since he came off the DL, he's been hitting very well.
Okay.
In that number 2 spot.
Now to get back to what I was saying.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I got excited about Ryan Terrio. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Okay. What was I talking about? Anyway, yeah. The pitching. You're right, Thomas. The pitching. Lincecum is a major concern. Zito. I didn't expect a lot out of Zito, and the first month or so was a very pleasant surprise.
Well, but shutout in Colorado.
All right.
Right?
What was that?
Okay, so I mean, I was saying it before the season started. I was concerned that it didn't look like they had someone ready to step in for Zito, and I still don't think they do. So yeah, I'd like to see them at least try someone out. And You know, Zito knows that he has another bad start or two. They're going to bring someone in to take a spot, at least temporarily.
But who? That's what I'm saying. They don't have any depth.
Oh, we'll see. We'll
Maybe
see.
Eric Hacker's down there still. He came up at one point. Yeah. All right. Cool, man. Dave, any let me ask you this.
You know,
go into the trading deadline. Are you looking for a bat or an arm?
Yeah, you need an arm. Wait. It's both. It's going to be both.
You think
need
both?
a power
Okay.
bat, and now you need. I would lean towards the bullpen side. They're going to need. They're going to have to get a bullpen arm, and I think Bruce Bochy's already mentioned that they need a little bit more depth in the bullpen still. You've had some call-ups coming in recently. Shane Lewis, I believe.
He's doing a great
He's doing
job.
okay, but you don't know how consistent he can last. Right. And they say Guillermo Monta's going to be out till at least late August.
A lot better than Steve Edelson.
So, and they're obviously going to need a bench bat, someone to come in with some power.
I disagree. I think you always want to shore up the bullpen, of course, especially with Wilson out for the year, because he is doing a good job. The bullpen, Affelt, you're going to get his good side one day and his bad side another day, but generally they're a solid pen. I'm more worried about the rotation than the bullpen, to be honest, just because they don't seem to have a lot of depth in the bullpen. Like I said, Zito's gone back to heck, and Lincecum just can't find it. So they only have 3 good starters, which any team would love to have 3 good starters, but they don't have any depth. If someone goes down or Zito just can't pick it up, who are they going to put in? So I'm more worried. I'm more worried about, again, you always want to shore up the bullpen, of course, but I'm more worried about the rotation right now. I want to get a starting pitcher. Hey, he's a free agent again. I said it at FanFest. Livan Hernandez, he just got released.
Hernandez, 10 years later.
Yeah, right. Bring it back 10 years, right? Yeah, bring it. Yeah. Hey, all right. Well, as we know, before we get, the biggest issue, obviously, that we've seen so far, and we touched on it, is the struggles of Tim Lincecum. He's now 2-8. The team has lost 9 of his last 9 starts. And they're 10 games under 500 to 2-12 when he pitches. We seem to be hearing that something needs to be done point. I mean, what do you think the team needs to do about Timmy? What do you think, Ben, we'll start with you. What do you think is the best option? Skip a start, bullpen, move him down in the rotation? What needs to be done with Tim Lincecum?
Well, I think if I had the answer, then I'd probably be the pitching coach or something. And I don't even think the pitching coach has an easy answer for that.
No.
Boy, yeah. That's a tough one. That's a tough question. Obviously, I'm sure they're trying everything they can to work that out. But yeah, I don't have an easy answer for that at all.
And the thing is, I was in favor of skipping a start, especially as they had an off day coming up. But now the off day is over, and they haven't skipped a start. And now they got 10 straight games in 10 straight days, right. Then a couple of days, then the All-Star break. So it's really not going to get a break in the first half. And it's not going to work for everybody. But a few years ago, they skipped a Matt King start. Pitched great when he came back. Skipped a Sanchez start. Pitched a no-hitter as a next start. So, sometimes you just need a break to try to figure out what's going on without the pressure of, I got to throw a side session today. I got to get ready for my next start. You just need to take a break in the action. And that's what I was in favor of. But now with that day off wasted, there's not and there's no one to take his spot right now. If you did skip his start, I mean, I don't know what else they can do at this point, Dave.
I think it's too early, but maybe towards the All-Star break, maybe that week before the All-Star break, maybe they could just make him miss a start and then come back and be the starting pitcher at the start of the second half of the season.
We're getting pretty close to that.
But I'm just wondering, it seems like he's lost a couple of miles per hour on his fastball. Is it a result of his motion? Is he just kind of his technique is off? I've read articles where he's, his father isn't even coaching him anymore. He's kind of keeping that distance, whereas his father was up until college. Yeah, I don't know if it's Tim Lincecum saying I could do this on my own, or and it's now he's he can't figure out where his technique is wrong. Maybe he needs to talk with his dad just to give him a chance to get it right. And then also his motivation. I'm kind of wondering, he had he didn't have a great year last year, and then coming in, I would have expected him to be more motivated. And they gave him the 2-year contract. And then you hear stories like he lost weight, maybe too much weight, and now they're trying to make him trying to gain strength. And, you know, Lincecum, he's at that age, he's 27, 28. I mean, this is where he's going to be in his prime now. So I think the Giants management and the coaching staff, they're figuring this is kind of like a phase issue, but now it's extended again. And the question is, when can Lincecum regain that form again? And they're hoping that it'll come back, you know, for the second half of the season, because we can't go the whole season like this, where we have to rely on our 3 starters, and then Zito and Lincecum struggle when Lincecum should be at the top of the heap.
It's just sad to me because it used to be, who's pitching today? Timmy. Okay, we won. Don't even have to watch the game. You would anyway, but we won. Timmy's pitching, we're going to win. Now it's Timmy's pitching. I'm afraid to ask what the score is. You know what I mean? It's gotten to that point.
It's like
sad.
It's like from the beginning of the season, you think he's in the funk, and it's like 3 months later he's still in the funk. Like we're just waiting for him to break out of that funk and be that dominant self that he's been.
Okay, before we go, Dave, we got to have you talk about this. The Giants have been able to withstand Timmy's struggles because, as I mentioned, Kane, Vogie, Bumgarner pitched so well. Now, speaking of Matt Cain, he did something pretty incredible. He pitched a perfect game back in early June against the Astros. Dave, you were there. We had Sports Junkie representation at the perfect game. Thank you, Dave. Come on, what was the atmosphere like? You got to give us some of that. What was it like being in the perfect game?
It was very exciting. I was sitting up in the upper reserve, reserve by the third base line. And so what happened is, it was like an early gift from my father. We decided to go Wednesday night. We were going to go on the Sunday one, but we decided to go Wednesday anyways. The crowd, it was pretty much tense, and then it got more exciting when Blanco made that catch.
Oh,
then everybody, it seemed like everybody had that feeling.
Did everyone know then? I'm sorry, we got to wrap it up, but did everyone pretty much know then?
Yeah, from that point on, everyone was on board. Let's get this done. Let's get this perfect game. And then in the ninth inning, obviously, it was going. Everyone was going berserk. I was high-fiving everybody in front of me, behind me, and it was a special night, obviously.
Well, I think Ben, you would agree. Matt Cain needs to be the opening day starter next year.
Well, right now he's pitching like it.
He's the ace.
Yeah, he's the ace. Well, Alex and I have said it on the show.
Pitcher.
Timmy's the #1 pitcher, #1 starter. Matt Cain's the ace. All right. You know what? This has been fun. I want to keep talking about this. We'll talk about it more next time, Dave. We got to wrap this up. Congratulations to Matt Cain. Giants are leading the wild card race right now despite their struggles, so we hope they can keep it up. And we'll talk about it more next time. Go Giants. Enjoy your summer, Bay Area. We are the Sports Junkies. Thomas, David, Ben, for Alex and our crew and everybody else who couldn't be here today. Thanks a lot. We'll see you next time.